7600. Hi guys, welcome back to 7600 Podcast with your host Madison. And before we do anything, before we speak about anything, please go ahead and like and subscribe and send it to everybody in your contacts list. I don't care. Send it to whoever. But on this episode, I will be speaking about fear. And I don't want to say how to overcome fear, but how to look at fear in a different way. So I thought of this episode because in this year of 2026, I said, you know what? I'm going to stop allowing fear to hold me back. Because I feel like throughout my life, looking back at my, I want to say teenage years up until my 20s, I have allowed fear to hold me back in a lot of situations because I was fearful. You know, I allowed that voice in my head to, or the race, my anxiety that I had at the time that I don't have anymore, thank God. I allowed it to hold me back from moving forward in my life and trying new things, doing new things, venturing out and stepping outside of my comfort zone to try and move forward in whatever it is that I wanted or going after what I wanted. Or even putting myself in a position to be aligned more with something that I saw for my future. I allowed fear to hold me back from doing some of those things. And I don't want to continue to allow that to happen to me because once fear steps into you, it will take over and allow you to have this like mindset of, I'm scared, I can't do this, I don't know how to do this, I'm going to mess it up, it's going to go wrong. Putting all these crazy bad thoughts in your mind and then you start to believe it. That's why they say, even speaking it over yourself, like I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Like, no, stop saying that. There's power in the there's what is it called? There's power in the tongue, pretty much. So I, for myself, when 2025 was ending, I said, you know what? 2025 was, it was a good year. It wasn't bad or anything like that. I had a lot of fun. I tried a lot of new things. I did things that I never thought I would be doing, things that just kind of came up and it was like, oh, well, I can do this. You know, so I started a lot of things in 2025. Even 2024, I started some new things as well. Tried some new things, went new places, met new people. I'm always meeting somebody new. Based on the environment that I was in at one point, I was always meeting somebody new. But yeah, so I said, you know what, for 2026, actually, let me say this. For 2025, I started a lot of things. 2026, I'm going to build on those things that I started and move forward. And one thing that I did last year, 2025, for my birthday, I went skydiving. And for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know why you would not know, but skydiving is when you jump out of a plane, pretty much. So for my birthday, I did that. Me and my best friend and another friend of mine, we all drove up to the skydiving place, like an hour out of the city. And my best friend and we did it together. He did it with me. And it was so crazy because I feel like it was set up in a way where it just kind of worked out perfectly. So when we went, there were other people there going as well because you have a tandem jumper, which is the person that's on your back because we can't do it by ourselves. So a lot of people went up first and then they came down and we watched them come out of the sky, literally. And then it was our turn, so we had to drive to another airport because the strip that they had, it was down or something. So we drove to another airport like 20 minutes away. It's a bunch of us on this bus. Then we get to the place, and then everybody goes out to the plane. My best friend and I, it was so funny. We're there with our tandem jumpers. They were hella cool, by the way. And we're like, are we not getting on the plane too? Like, why are we not getting on the plane? And they were like, you guys are last. And I was like, what do you mean we're last? Like, everybody's, what? I was so confused because I'm thinking we're all going at the same time like they did with the previous group. And they said, no, it's going to be too many people. So we're going to be the last ones here. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not what I was thinking was going to happen. So literally like, I want to say maybe like 15 people. Yeah, about 15 people, maybe a little bit more than that. They all got on the plane, flew up into the sky. So then the plane comes back. So it's me, my best friend, and both of our tandem jumpers. We get on the plane. So it's literally just the four of us. Nobody else is getting on the plane with us. All of those 15, 16, 17 people, they all went, they jumped, and they were done. So it literally, like, that's what I said. It felt like it was just made for me and him because we were the only two people that jumped at the same time. Everybody else already went. So we get on, and my best friend, he was so scared. I was I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't as scared as I thought I was gonna be because I mean we're about to jump out of a freaking plane. That's not like an everyday thing, not for me. And so we go up there, 14,000 feet in the air, 14,000 feet, and we fly off, and we're like, okay, okay. I'm looking out the window like, okay, okay, like we're good. My friend, he starts like shaking a little bit, and he's scared. I love you so much, Nicholas, for doing this with me. That was like he's literally the best friend, because who was really jumping out of a plane for people? I depending on who the person is, I would do it again. But if nobody ever wants to do it, I'm not doing that again. By the way, but I would recommend anybody do it at least once. It's a great experience. And so yeah, but we go up there, and it's just he's getting a little scared, and I'm feeling bad because I'm like, okay, we're up here because of me. He's doing this because of me. Like I'm the whole reason we're even here. So then I'm gonna go first. So then my tandem jumper, he opens up the door, and now my legs are literally dangling over this plane, like outside of the plane, and I just see all of the ground in the air and everything right there. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm like hanging on. Like, this is real now. Like, let me lock in. Like, let me try to get right because this is not a game. Like, we're literally about to do this. It was one thing when we were on the ground and saying, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. It's another thing when we're actually up there. So then he pushes us out. And now we're falling in the sky. And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. As soon as we left out of the plane, I literally said, oh my God. Like I screamed it at the top of my lungs. You would have thought I was on a roller coaster. And we're just falling so quickly. You're falling at 120. So imagine going down the highway in a car at 120. That's how fast we're falling. And all this air is just rushing to my face. And I'm like, it was a lot. And then he pulled the parachute, and then we flew back up in the air, and it was amazing. It was so beautiful up there. That was an amazing experience. I don't think there's anything like it, honestly. It was literally amazing. And so we get down on the ground, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, it was so fun. It was amazing. And my other friend, she's down there and she's taking pictures and videos, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was an amazing experience. And not one time, not one time did I go up there and think, this is going to go wrong. This is going to be bad. We're going to die. Like, we're going to hit the ground and the parachute's not going to open. Never one time did I think like that. And I will say, like, you know how, like, women's intuition, which is, if you really want to be honest, it's also the Holy Spirit. Never one time did I feel like this is a bad idea. This is not a good idea. You know, you get that like that nudge, like don't do this. Like there's something like it just doesn't feel right. I never once had that feeling. And I never once thought I'm going to go up in this plane and not make it down safely. That was just not a thought in my mind, you know? And I didn't allow the fear that could have set in to actually happen. I never once had a bad thought, like not at all. And if I did have a bad thought, I would have started to rebuke it. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. When we have bad thoughts, negative thoughts, even if it's not a fearful thought, like it's just a bad, negative, like crazy thought that pops in your mind, instead of allowing it to plague your mind and play out and just like be on repeat in your head or make up new crazy thoughts, you have to start rebuking it. You have to be like literally like in your head, like I rebuke that thought in the name of Jesus. Like cast it down. You cannot allow bad thoughts to plague your mind because it'll keep happening and happening and happening to the point where you start to believe something that was never even real. A lot of the things that we think are not real. A lot of the things that plague our minds are not real. We just allow it to feel real because we're not dealing with it. We're not rebuking it. We're not praying against it. We're not saying, God, take this out of my head. We just allow these thoughts to plague our minds, and it's like you walk around with all these crazy thoughts in your head. Next thing you know, you're over here thinking this stuff is real. It's not real. And then anxiety sets in. And a lot of time when you have anxiety for no reason. Like it's like you're having a fearful moment, but there's nothing to be fearful of. Like you're just walking down the street and you just get scared out of nowhere. And it's like you don't have anything to be scared of. There's nothing is going to happen to you, you know? But that's the thing. If we allow bad thoughts to plague our mind and don't deal with them, it's going to keep happening. So I didn't allow any bad thoughts to pop into my head when it came to skydiving, because I was like, one thing we're not going to do is die. Like, we're not doing that today. We're not doing that anytime soon, you know, especially not from this, you know? It's a horrible death. But I never once had a bad thought in my mind about it. And if I did, like I said, I would have casted it down. And the thing is, even my mom, she got upset because I told her the day before I did it. Probably shouldn't have did that, but I just wanted to be honest with her. And she was upset with me for wanting to do it. And she was like, you need to cancel it. You need to cancel it. And that was the thing. It was like, I don't want to allow your fear to creep into me either, because I'm fine. Like, nothing is going to happen, you know? And like I said, nothing happened. Clearly, I'm sitting on this couch talking to y'all months later. So nothing bad happened. It was, if I didn't have that experience, knowing what I know now, if I didn't have that experience, I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed that I never got to experience that because I allowed fear from someone else, or just fear that isn't real, creep into my mind. And so, by the way, again, if you want to go skydiving, I recommend it 100%. At least once. At least once. It's a great experience. I don't think there's anything like it. Unless you do like bungee jumping or something. I ain't doing that. That's a little too much for me. But but yeah, so I said all of that to say, when it comes to fear, a lot of the things that we fear are not real and are not really that serious. And when I thought about it for this episode, and even months after skydiving, I texted my best friend and I said, you know what's so crazy? I have allowed fear to hold me back so much in my life. And I did like the craziest thing ever. Like, skydiving is probably the craziest thing I'll ever do. And I jumped out of a freaking plane at 14,000 feet. If I can jump out of a plane and be perfectly fine, I can do anything. So now it's like when I think of moments when fear tries to creep into me, I think of that moment when I was in that plane, legs dangling over the air. I think about that moment. I'm like, if you did that, you can do anything. Like the other day, I had a meeting, right, with this person that I didn't know. And thinking about the meeting, I was a little like, not fearful, but nervous. And that was the thing. It was like, you really don't have anything to be nervous about. It's not a scary situation when you really put it into perspective, because you're walking into a situation, yes, with someone that you don't know, but you're not walking into like a gunfight with a knife or anything. It's not that serious, you know? Nobody's going to die. Either it goes good, or you don't get whatever the opportunity was. And that's it. There's nothing taken away from you. You cannot allow fear to plague your mind so much, because then you'll start to trick yourself out of things that are meant for you, and trick yourself out of doing things that you should be doing because you allowed the fear that is not even really yours, but it's from the enemy, if you want to be honest, to creep into your mind and not allow you to do something that you want to do. Go after something that you want to have and try to do something that is meant for you. And so now, even in that moment the other day when I had that meeting, I was like, girl, you jumped out of a plane. Like, this ain't nothing to be scared of. Like, get it together. Like, this is not something to be scared of. And like I said, I'm not going to allow fear to hold me back anymore, because I've done that for years in the past. I allowed it to hold me back. I'm not doing it anymore. And skydiving just helped more with that. It just like gave me that push to know that, again, jumping out of a plane, walking into a meeting with a stranger, don't really like, one is a lot scarier than the other, if you want to be honest. And I wasn't even that scared to skydive. Like, that was shocking to me, because I really wasn't that scared to do it. I was like, whew, this is different, but my heart wasn't like racing. Like, I wasn't like up there like, oh my gosh, like it wasn't that serious. You know, it was serious, but it wasn't that serious for me to be freaking out or anything, you know? So, but please just don't allow fear to creep into you, your mind, your body, your nervous system, and allow you to make you not go after the things that you want in life. If you want an opportunity and you can have it, go after it. If you're walking into a job interview and you're nervous, just know you're fine. Those thoughts that plague your mind, push them away. I'm telling you, you guys have to really start rebuking it. And even I saw a video the other day where this guy was saying that, my bad. This guy was saying, if you take, I don't remember his exact words. I'm paraphrasing when I say this. If you take like a scripture or something that aligns with something that you deal with in your life, and you say that scripture every day, it can help rewire your nervous system. I feel like that's what he said. I'm not 100% sure. So I chose, like I said, because I wasn't going to allow fear to do anything to me anymore. So I chose 2 Timothy 1:7, which is, for God did not give you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So now when I wake up in the morning, I say that to myself because I'm like, that needs to be something that I hear instantly, because I don't want to allow fear to hold me back anymore. Because I even had anxiety at one point where, like I said, where I could walk down, I don't even say down. There was one time I walked into a store, right? A grocery store. And my heart just started beating, like racing. And I'm like, what's going on? I had to be in my head like, Madison, calm down, calm down, calm down. And it would just like plague me at the like weirdest moments. Like randomly, like anxiety would just pop up. And for a long time, I didn't know what it was until I started doing research on it. And it said, oh, that's anxiety. And I was like, that's anxiety? Because I would hear people speak about it, but I'm like, I don't know what that is. So once I knew what it was, I started praying against it. And anytime it started to happen where I would get that nervousness and those butterflies in my stomach, like those nervous butterflies, and my heart would start beating like rapidly fast, I would start praying in my mind and rebuking what I was feeling, and it would start to go away. And then one day I sat down, I was like, when's the last time I had anxiety? It was like I couldn't even think of the last time it happened, because I started praying against it. And that's the thing, it's like we cannot allow the things that we go through in our life, especially fear, to plague us so bad that we just say, you know what? I'm scared and I'm just going to stay scared. No, you're not. Because even, this just came to me. As fast as it came, it left. What was it? Yeah, okay, so that's what it was. So sometimes we have to just do things scared. You have to just do it scared. It's better to do something scared than to not do it at all. Because if you do something scared and it goes right, it's like, okay, great, it went right. It happened. It turned out good. Versus you never even tried to do it. There's a difference. It's like, don't take the route of, I'm not going to do something because I'm scared. Do it scared. Do it fearful. Do it with your heart beating. It's fine, nervousness, whatever. But you have to pray against whatever the heck it is that's plaguing your mind, that fearfulness. No. But yeah, I wanted to give that little story of skydiving and not allowing fear to hold me back. Because like I even said on the first episode for the podcast, I was scared to do the podcast. Like, this was not something I wanted to do. I was so scared. I was so nervous. I was very fearful. Just thinking all these different thoughts, like, how will I be perceived? Will people like me? Will they like what I have to say? Will they tune in to watch? Where is this going to go? Like, how am I going to do it? Because I didn't have any help to do it. All of these different thoughts just plaguing my mind to the point where I was so scared, and I even like put it off for a little minute, and I was like, you have to do it. God told you to do this. You have to do it. Look at me now. The podcast isn't where I want it to be yet, but we're going to get there one day. We're going to grow it more. And over time, I'll be more and more comfortable speaking on camera. I'm comfortable right now. Like, I'm not scared at all. But when I first filmed, I was very scared. Like, scared, nervous, had no idea what I was doing. Even sometimes still, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still learning as I go through it. And that's the thing. I'd rather be here now, learning and growing and figuring things out, versus not doing it at all and just deciding I'm not going to do something because I feel like I can't do it because I'm too scared to allow myself to get over that hurdle of fear. So this is my message to y'all. Please do not allow fear to hold you back from going after what you want, trying new things, stepping outside of your comfort zone, because Your comfort zone is nice. It's great. Trust me, I love my comfort zone. And it can be like really like nerve wracking to step outside of it. But once you step outside of it and you're fine, you'll realize I can do a lot more than I thought I could. And that's where the growth happens. It's very uncomfortable at times. It really is. Like again, sitting on this couch doing this, at one point it was so uncomfortable. Now I don't have a problem doing it at all. I might have a few little like moments of should I do this episode? Should I not? But there's no fear behind it. It's just like strategy thinking pretty much. Even the rebranding of the podcast now, like I rebranded it, I'm doing something different. I sat down and thought about it like, should I even do that? Is it a good idea? Is it worth it? I'm fine. So we have to just push past that fear. And I want you guys to just take those moments of fear and those crazy bad thoughts that pop up in your head, cast them down, rebuke them, pray against them, something, because do not allow things to plague you so much that you don't go after what you want. And then by the time you look back, you're like, I could have had this, and this, but I allowed fear to hold me back from going after what I wanted, going after what God ordained for my life, going after things that could have really helped you in life, but you chose not to go after it because you allowed bad thoughts to plague your mind so much that you said, I'm gonna just sit here and be scared versus going out and jumping over that hurdle. So yeah, that was my, I guess, I don't know what to call it, but that was just like a little story for you guys to know that overcoming fear is possible. It's doable. Trust me, it's doable. That's coming from somebody who was very shy at one point, did not speak to people that I was not comfortable around. I used to like be very quiet. I'm still a very quiet person now, but only if I don't know you. But now I can speak to anybody. Am I comfortable walking up and just starting random conversations with people? No, not really. I just don't really think that's in my personality. But having a conversation with somebody, I can have a conversation with anybody. But when I was in high school, when I was still a teenager, I couldn't do that. It would feel weird. It would feel awkward. It would be nerve wracking. Now it's like, that's just another person. It's another human being. Like, it's like talking to your friend, just different face, name, age, whatever. You don't know the person, but there's no reason to be nervous. We're all human beings, so yeah. But that was my little story for you guys. I hope it encouraged you guys to step out on fear, go after what you want, and not allow fear and bad thoughts and negativity to hold you back from moving forward in life, because you don't want to look back again and feel like you did not progress in the areas that you could have. So yeah, just step out on fear, do it scared, and remember that, at the end of the day, you'll be fine. If things don't work out, you'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. Nobody's going to die. It's okay. You might have a moment of like embarrassment. It's okay. It's fine. Push past it. It don't matter half the times. It'll be a new topic a week later anyway. You're not that important. Not literally, but like nobody's going to talk about you for the rest of your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will see you later. Bye.